Hi, friends. Welcome to Tabletop Tonight. My name's Ruel Gaviola, and this is Ruel's Wrap Up. This is a monthly show where I talk about the games that I've played recently and rank them. And this episode is brought to you by Brotherwise Games, who have released a new game called Adulthood. I've done a solo playthrough. You can check out the link below to see my run through, and you could also check out the link to check out Brotherwise Games as well. So this month, actually, I'm looking back at October, November because someone, me, skipped a month, and totally, I've been so busy that I'm gonna wrap up 2 months in one, October and November. By the way, you can also check out the link below for the What You Played portion of the show. I actually record these two shows live on Twitch. I talk about the games I played in Ruel's Wrap Up. Then I talk about the games that you played and what you played. So, kicking things off for my October and November is a game that one of the first games I bought when I got into the hobby of board games. And this one I saw on Tabletop, starring Will Wheaton. I saw it played and I was like, okay, this is my jam. This is Zombie Dice. And excuse me, here's Bonds and I playing on Good Morning Society in Zombie Dice. This is a classic formula that I've seen re-implemented many times over. It's sort of like Yahtzee, where you have dice that you want to try to collect sets of, and you get to re-roll up to, I think it's 3 times. And but in this case, zombie dice, you're zombies trying to get your victims. But if you roll 3 shotgun blasts, immediately your turn's over. You don't score anything. What you're after are those brains, right? Because the most brains wins. The most brains is the best zombie. And I love this video. Bonds is playing with the skeleton hand. This was obviously during our Halloween month celebration. I've got my Spock ears. So you roll dice, and if there are brains, you're going to set those aside, trying to get the 13. Whoever gets the 13 brains first wins, and you can re-roll as many times as you want, but any shotgun blasts you have to keep as well. So you're always trying to push your luck. How many shotgun blasts can I get away with? 1, 2, that's it. If you get the third, your turn's over. So you're always trying to push your luck. There's footsteps that show up as well. Those means you have to re-roll those if you decide to go, and you're going to pull more dice out of the bag or whatever. I have my not custom, but I have my Walking Dead zombie cup, which is actually for Walking Dead Yahtzee, and I put the zombie dice in there because it's just perfect thematically. But always a fun game, a terrific filler. This is one of those games I had in my collection from day one, and I'll never get rid of it. It's a quick and simple game. Ones that I was talking about earlier that sort of continue this pattern of push your luck. Obviously, Yahtzee's the OG. Zombie dice. Popcorn dice is another one. Chicken from Keymaster recently does similar things as well. But you can't go wrong with pushing your luck and dice chucking, in my humble opinion. That's why it's on the list. It is number 21, Zombie Dice. Okay, moving right along, let's go to my number 20, Green Team Wins. Yes, I played this during Thanksgiving with the family. It is always a family hit. This is Sam Healy over on the flip side of board games. This is his little explanation. Green Team Wins is a terrific party game. One of the best, one of my favorites of recent years. It's so simple, and basically everyone starts on the orange team. You have a card. It's a prompt. It's either choose one of 3, fill in the blank, or choose one of 2. And you write down your answer secretly. You reveal at the same time. Whoever's in the majority, they go to the green team and score 1 point. If you were already on the green team previously on the previous round, you stay on the green team and you get 2 points. If you're not in the majority, you don't get a point, and you go to the orange team. And you play 15 rounds, and there's Sam. Hi, Sam. You play 15 rounds, and the most points wins. It is fantastic, folks. It works with so many different groups. I played it with gamers, non-gamers. Always a big hit. I've talked about it on this channel plenty of times. No need to rehash all of that because it is fantastic. If you haven't played, please check it out. ASAP. It is Green Team Wins, my number 20. All right, moving right along. Number 19, it is Tranquility, the Descent. Or the Ascent. Oh my god. You know, it's funny. I always say the Descent because I always think of Descent Legends of the Dark, right? Anyways, Tranquility, the Ascent. This was, excuse me, a paid preview from Lucky Duck Games, and this is a solo game. It can be played cooperatively too, but I did it solo, where you're building this mountain, and as you can see there, it's basically like these little triangles, or not triangles, but diamond cards, which are basically squares just turned on their side. And you have the different terrains, and you're trying to line them up with their different numbers, terrains, and you line them up. You're trying to fill the entire mountain. You do have a couple of special abilities in the solo game. These are the hook cards, I believe, which you can draw new cards. It is not easy, folks. It is a tough one. I don't think I've beaten this one yet. I've gotten pretty close, but I've not beaten it. But for solo gamers, I think it's a terrific little puzzle. It's a small box. Looking at the, I remember it took a little more room than I thought, just because that pyramids, or the mountain in this case, but it is a pyramid shape. It takes up a lot more room than I thought, but a terrific puzzle game. I would recommend it for solo gamers. I'm not sure if this really be my jam as a cooperative game, but hey, give it a shot, folks. It's a thinker for sure. Surprisingly thinky for what it is. My number 19 for the month, Tranquility. The Ascent. See, I did it again. The Ascent. Tranquility. All right. Let's move on to my number 18 game, another sponsored preview from Lucky Duck Games. This is Quartz, the dice game. Now, Quartz is a push your luck set collection game. A lot of fun, but here's the thing. I think I prefer the dice game version because I love dice. I love pushing my luck. Michelle and I had a great time with this. What you're doing is you are dwarves going into a mountain and, mining as dwarves do, trying to get the different gems and whatnot. And as you do, you're going to pull those onto your cart, and then you have them on your cart, and those can be stolen from other players. So there's some take that. This is not a game for the meek. You will be doing a lot of take that. We enjoyed it. We had fun. We actually played this with chat, Michelle and I, because they say it's a 3 or more player game. We have played it too. I didn't think it was bad, but 3 players, definitely more take that. And as you go on the dive in there and you're trying to get the similar symbols, they're going to give you different powers or abilities to determine which ones you pull out of the bag, which gems. Now, if you do get one of the black diamond gems or whatever they're called, those are not good things. You want to get rid of those because they're minus points. Others, you have different ways to collect them for points. You can collect similar, you can collect different, and then they're all worth different points as well. Really terrific set collection game. Michelle and I, you know what? The original Quartz was redone as Friday the 13th, a theme game. I think it was Crystal Lake, a survival, or I forget, Camp Crystal Lake or something. That was a lot of fun, and I had no idea they had done that. When we first played, I was like, oh, this is Quartz. They just rethemed it. It was a lot of fun because you're trying to escape Jason and stuff. So we had fun with that. A little more gruesome than Dwarves mining. So this one is family friendly. It's a pretty quick game. I'd say like 20 to 30 minutes. But there are some really interesting points of like, okay, what am I collecting here? What do I want to place on my treasure chest to be basically keep it safe from the other players. So there's some really interesting twists to this. I like it. Michelle enjoyed it. Excuse me. That's why it's our number 18 of the month. Quartz, the dice game. Little hydration. I am doing this live, and as we do things live, I forget that I need to stay hydrated or else my voice goes. Let's move on to number 17. Number 17 has been a huge hit for me personally this year. It is Pixies. I think this game is terrific. It's a tableau building set collection game. I found a BGG solo variant, which works really well. And you can check out my video here where it has like a small little AI that just takes cards away from you. What you're trying to do is build a 3x3 grid, and once you just draft cards from the row there, the market, and you're going to have those in your tableau. You're going to score points if they are validated, and what that means is if you have, like, say, an 8, that's not going to score you 8 points unless you have a second 8, which you'll slide underneath it, means it's validated. So that's one way to get points, just straight up from the cards. The other ways are, there are little spirals, which will give you points, and there's also X's, which will give you minus points. So you'll score those. Then there's also some set collections. So if some cards say, hey, for every blue card that you have, you'll get a point, or every red card or whatever. And finally, the really cool thing that I feel like sets it apart is the spatial element, where, as you can see here, I'm counting up all the blue cards because that's the most cards I have there. If they're orthogonally adjacent, I'm going to get points for that based on what round it is. I think round ones, they're all worth 2 points each, and they increase in value after you play 3 rounds and most points wins. Terrific game. I really enjoyed it, and I think the solo game is a fun implementation of the 2-player game. So definitely check that one out. You can see here how much I enjoyed it. I mean, I played this several times, and it's always a banger, as the kids would say. That is number 17, Pixies. Okay, let's move on to number 16. My number 16 is a hit from last year that I really enjoyed, and this is my buddy Julie. Now let me see. Yeah, this was a year ago. It is My Shelfie by Phil Walker Harding. Praise be. This is what I like to call it Connect 4 for gamers. It's a tile laying and set collection game, but they've done it in such a clever way where you drop pieces like Connect 4 into your shelf. Now, the cool twist on this, and you can see here I am taking a little close-up camera of what we're doing there. You're taking from the main market there. You can take 1, 2, or 3 tiles. That's it. And the tiles you take, they have to begin that turn with at least one side exposed. So you can't just reach into the middle of the market and pull a tablet or a tile out. You have to start from the sides working in. So 1 to 3. And the great twist on this is, as you drop them into your shelf, you can only drop them into one column. So unlike Connect 4, where you can put like 1, 2, and 3 across, no, you have to drop them all in one column straight down. So you're trying to line these up in a certain way in order to reach the public goals, which could be like, hey, for every row that has 3 or fewer different types, I think there's like 6 types, you'll get points. Or you can have like a different shape on the shelf, like the one that I always think was like the big like diagonal sort of like a mountain shape, uphill shape. Others you can try to get similar tiles together, and then off of that, there's another a couple of other ways to score. You can score based on your own secret card, which tells you of the 6 different types, they're gonna have a different placement on your shelf. So maybe I want a game on the very top corner. Maybe I want a plant in the middle, second from the left or whatever. So you have those. And then finally, you have this another spatial thing where all the similar ones that are orthogonally adjacent, starting at 3 or more. If you can get 3 to 6, you're going to get points based on how many are orthogonally adjacent. It's a brilliant game. I absolutely love this one. And it's number 16 because I haven't played it in a while, and I was like, wow, I don't remember where I played this. I played this sometime in October, November. I forgot who. I'll have to check my BG stats and see who I played it with, because it's such a great game. I absolutely love this one. Again, if you have not checked it out, please give it a shot. It is a terrific family game and a terrific gamer game as well. All right. Moving right along, moving. Let's go. Oh, okay. Now I remember this one. This is actually my all-time favorite dexterity game. Number 15 is Crokinole. These are my brothers from another mother, Nick and Mike Murphy, brothers Murph, playing on their channel, Crokinole. I played this, I believe, with my buddy Daryl. It'd been a minute since we played, and he brought his board and we played, and man, it is so good. It's still so great. I wish this was more portable, or maybe I should have more game nights at home, because the board's pretty big, right? The circular board, it's wooden, but it is the greatest dexterity game ever. It's like a mini shuffleboard. You're just trying to get points based on the circles that you landed, and you shoot it from one of the sides, from the outside. If there are no checkers on board, you're trying to get it in the middle circle. If there is a opponent's checker on the board, you have to hit theirs first. Otherwise, you take yours off the board. And if you land in the middle there, it's worth, I think, 25 points. And then if after you do your dozen pieces, you take a look, and wherever your pieces have landed, you can score. So the middle circle, I believe, is 20. The outer is 15, and is it 10, 5? Oh, man. See, it's been a while. I need to look up my own video and see what the scoring is. Anyways, if you end on the outer ring, you're going to get fewest points. Maybe it's 5, then 10, then 15, right? 15 in the middle. And then in the very middle, the doogie spot, as the Canadians say, that's their term, apparently, that's 25 there. And then you just score it up, and the first to 100 points, or whatever, wins the game. It is brilliant. If you've not played this, please, folks, give it a shot. As I'm recording this, PAX Unplugged is coming up real soon. And with this week, I know they have a huge area at PAX Unplugged for Crokinole. And I think they have tournaments where you could actually win a really nice board. So give it a shot if you're at PAX Unplugged, folks. Go play some Crokinole. It is the greatest dexterity game of all time. And this month, it is my number 15. Okay, number 14. These got some big hits for me this year. Number 14, I just talked about this on the R&R Show. It made our top 10 of the year, and it's definitely in my top 5, if not my top 3 of the year. Number 14 is Captain Flip. Brilliant, brilliant push your luck tile placement game. You reach into a bag, pull a tile, look at one side. You can only look at one side, and you decide then and there, do I place it on my boat, or do I flip it and then place it on my boat? There's no turning back if you flip it. Now, you place your one of the columns, starting from the bottom, going all the way to the top, and each tile has a different ability or scoring mechanism. For instance, the cook, they'll score. You place it down, and it scores it scores 1 coin or 1 point for every tile that's already there on that row. The monkey, you'll get a coin, and you also put down the monkey. That allows you to flip a tile that's adjacent to it. You get the cartographer, which will get you the map, and the map, if you have it at the end of your turn, you get 1 point automatically. You have I think it's the lookout. If they're at the top of the column, you'll get 4 points at the end of the game. You have my favorite, the cannon or the gunner. You immediately get 5 coins. It's the biggest point scorer of the game. But if you have 3 cannons or 3 gunners on your ship at the end of the game, you automatically lose. So it's hilarious. And then there's some set collection with the Swabby. That's for everyone they have in a different column. You'll get an increasing amount of points. So if you have all 5, I think it's like 25 points. It's huge at the end of the game. But again, it's tough to see. It's tough to pull that off because the end game condition is 4 of the 5 columns are filled. So it's almost like a race too. You're trying to race against your opponent to make sure you fill up as many columns as you can. Most coins wins. It's absolutely brilliant. I played this a ton this year, and I've always loved it. It's easy to teach. It's another one I bring to my family gatherings. We didn't play it at Thanksgiving this year, but we played it earlier this year, another family gathering. It was a big hit. And I think we might have played it last year too. But yeah, I showed it off to... Actually, I didn't do it last year because I just learned about this game this year at Gamma with Jake from Good Morning Society, and we played it, and immediately we're like, oh, this could be a hit. And we played on Good Morning Society with Becca. She loved it. Great, great game. And it's number 14 this month. It was number 1 on previous months. I know that for a fact. But, I play... I rank my games based on, just this specific time period. And Captain Flip, even though it's like probably my number 3 or 2 or 1 game of the year, for this particular month, it was my number 14. Okay, moving right along to number 13. This one, I sort of threw it back. So over on Good Morning Society, we had a Halloween-themed month of gaming, and we played a different Halloween-themed game each month. And number 13 was Whirling Witchcraft. Sorry, I know the names of these games. Whirling Witchcraft on Good Morning Society. The best way to describe this game, I remember hearing this from Vlad when he was at AEG. He described it as the I Love Lucy episode at the Chocolate Factory as a board game. And that's totally what this is. But it is a witchy theme. You are witches with your cauldrons trying to create these spells. You have recipes and you have your different resources. You create these spells, which create more resources. And you use those to complete more recipes. And then at the end of it, you take all the ingredients you've created, put in your cauldron, and pass the cauldron to the player next to you. They take that cauldron and they have to place all those ingredients on their workbenches, which are player boards. If they do not have a space for any ingredients, they return them to you, and that is a point. So it's a race to 5 points, and it's so quick. It's so fun, and it's ranked pretty high this month because I forgot how fun this game was. I loved it, and at the time when we streamed it, Becca, she was so fired up, and so was Ray, our producer, and also Matt, one of the producers there at Good Morning Society. Literally that day, it was on sale too for the month of October from AEG. It's only like $10, which is an absolute steal. But I remember it was funny. Like the second we got off air, it might have been happened on the air. Becca, Matt, and Ray all ordered a copy. I think it was probably like, I think Becca like ordered 3 copies and then, yeah, they paid her back. But oh, it was so funny. It's a terrific game, folks. Highly recommend if you haven't played it. Whirling Witchcraft, I still have it. I'm not getting rid of this game. It's like an engine building / engine wrecking game almost at once. It's really fast, and you're just trying to produce so many goods or resources that your opponents like overflow, basically. Oh, terrific game. I love this one. Yeah, it was terrific. Yeah, no soul, no prob. So, folks, I am recording this live on Twitch. No soul, no prob says Becca was enthralled. She was. I'm really happy when I can, get Becca fired up about a game because she plays a ton of games too. So, and I feel like I know what time we have somewhat similar tastes in games. But I figured that she would like this one. I'm so glad she did. All right, let's move on to number 12 for the month. This is a paid preview that my buddy Gerald and I did. He joined me for this. It is a game called Ultimate Voyage. So Ultimate Voyage, this one is an action selection game. You're going to sail, trade, explore, negotiate, build stuff, and also get into some combat for precision profit. There's different paths to victory, and I really liked the theming in this game. It's set in Middle Ages, but in China, and you are basically, it's the launch of maritime exploration, and there's a lot of really interesting historical notes. The artwork, there's like 100 different art cards in here. There's events that are based on things during the Ming Empire. And let me, Admiral Zhang was like the admiral here. So you're playing, and it's like Admiral Zhang's like the tracker, the time tracker. And as he moves along here, different events are going to trigger. So this is a paid preview. I want to be honest here. I like this game, but I want to like it more. I'm going to love it more when it's the final production's release, because as a Kickstarter preview, things are still in flux. They're still being developed, and I feel like there's some points here. Darren and I were like, ooh, we like this game, but I think with a little more development, some streamlining down of certain things, like we'd really like it. This feels like my jam. Now, I should say that they have a quick play rule set, which I briefly looked at, and again, that was still in flux, it was still in development. I feel like that quick play is the way to go. That one looks really good. It takes out a few little things, but I think it streamlines the gameplay where it's going to be a really solid Euro game. And I know I have a lot of Euro fans here. This one, it's already been funded. They did a great Kickstarter, and even in the Kickstarter, the publisher and designer were like, hey, we're fixing things. We've listened to your feedback from everyone, and we're gonna streamline a couple of things and narrow it down. And I think that's really gonna bump this game up in my estimation. So I'm ranking this more of like, hey, I know this is my jam, but it's not quite there yet. So I'm hoping when the final production is released that it's really gonna live up to expectations I have in my head. We really enjoyed what we had to do here, but I think there was a couple of moments where they're like, ooh, it's a little clunky here, but we know that certain things were being fixed. There's also a solo game that's being produced as well, which I am fired up about, because this, to me, feels like my type of action selection solo game. And if you remember the game Gentes, Gents, Gentes, or I call it Gentes, that's a really classic action selection game with a really cool timing mechanism or timing element, which I really love solo. It's a terrific multiplayer game, but I really like that solo. And I have a feeling that Ultimate Voyage has some of those type of, or has some of that type of play that I would really like solo, where I feel like, hey, I can just relax, do my thing, and not really stress out about all the different things that may be going on in a multiplayer game. But anyways, that's the number 12 for the month, Ultimate Voyage. You can check. I will drop a link in the comments below, because you should check it out for a late pledge if you're interested. All right, moving along to number 11. One of my favorite, one of my favorite tile. There it is. One of my favorite genres of games is tile laying, and number 11 fits in there perfectly. It is Happy Home. Happy Home is from one of my favorite design duos, Matthew Dunstan and Brett Gilbert. I'd probably compare them to Snoop and Dre of the Snoop and Dre of designers, or I always say, I know I've done that for several different design duos, but I'm going to use it here again. They do a lot of great games that I've really enjoyed over the years, and Happy Home's it's a little lighter game from them, and this is a terrific tile laying game where it's almost like New York Zoo, where you go around this main market, and as you go along, you're going to pick up cards to place in your home. These cards are related to all the different polyominoes that are there. So some are going to go in your bedroom, some will go into your kitchen, living room. They're different items, such as tables and whatnot, and you place them anywhere in your room. And then, depending on what objective you place for the game, you may want them, either right next to each other or, whatever. But the secret objective, I got a little ahead of myself. There are 4 different elements that you're going to score every game, depending on what type of furniture they are, and there are also what are they called? The spots on the I think they're called scratches on the floor. You want to cover up those, because if you don't, they will be minus 1 point each. And you just go around, take the pieces, and place them in your room. When you run out of cards, you are going to end the game and then score the first player to go out. So you can you can jump ahead as on that little, not really rondelle. It's sort of like a rondelle. You can jump ahead to get the piece that you want. But the really fun thing about this is it's like Tokaido, where the last player is the active player. So if you're in last place, you're going to skip over the first, or you can skip over the player ahead of you, or you can go right behind them. If there's an open space, take that piece. So do you take the one that you really want, or do you want the one that's like right in front of you, and you start building those up? It's a really fun way to do. I've always liked that mechanism of Tokaido. Like, I call it the Tokaido last player is active player mechanism. So you do that, go around, and then you're going to fill up your little house there with all the different furniture, and most points wins. Terrific tile layer. If you like polyominoes, I'm sure you'll like Happy Home. I played this several times at the World Series of Board Gaming, actually. I brought it with me. I had an early copy thanks to Alley Cat Games, and we had a blast. Played it with several different groups of gamers there. So terrific one at number 11, Happy Home. All right, I'm going old school for number 10 this month. I had not played this one in a while. I would say literally it'd been years since I played, but it's still a banger. It's still a hit. It is my number 10 for the month, Space Base. Here is the old school Rahdo video. Rahdo, I believe back in Malta, doing the old school handheld thing. Space Base from one of my favorite designers, John DeClaire. You are playing as, you have your different player boards there. You're building your fleet of ships, and you roll dice. Those dice are going to get you different resources. Could be points, could be currency, could be other things, and you're just going to move it up there, as you can see Rahdo doing there. And what's cool is, what makes this a terrific game is everyone does something on their turn. So the active player rolls a dice. They're going to get their resources. You're going to get resources based on what you have above your right there. So you're going to get things in addition to what you've played by buying new cards, flipping them over, and tucking them in above your board. That's the really cool thing about it. I love that this game, it's been around for a while. It's got a bunch of expansions, and it's such a terrific push your luck, a dice rolling tableau building game. And I got to play this recently with Matt Silverell Tavern. He had a few of us over at his place for a quick game day. I was in the neighborhood and was able to play this one with him and a few other folks. It was so much fun. I forgot how much I enjoyed this. I also remember that in the 2-player game, and I think Lauren, my stepdaughter, and I played this a couple of years ago. We took a variant from BGG, whereas 2 players, you have a dummy player. So that one, it really helped out the 2-player game. We felt like it felt better as a 2-player game, having that 3rd player, like a dummy player that we can play along with. So definitely check that one out on BGG if you're checking out, or if you're going to play Space Base. If you play 2, definitely check out that BGG variant for the dummy player. No Problem says Space is so good. Yeah, John DeClaire does it. Seriously, he does so many fantastic games, and this is one of many games from John DeClaire that I love. It is Space Base, and shout out to Matt of Silver Metal Tavern for having us over the other day to play that. I forgot how much I love this game. All right, number 9, getting inside the top 10 now. Another new game, and again, my ratings for each month, or they normally skew towards the newer stuff because they're new in the collection. But that doesn't necessarily mean it's like my number 9 game of all time, right? This is number 9 that I played this month. This one I play on Good Morning Society with Becca, and this is Rome in a Day. Now, this one I thought Becca would like too, because Becca and I are also fellow fans of Tile Lane. You can see there we've got the hexagon pieces that we're laying. We're building our own little version of Rome in a day, or in this case, in about 15-20 minutes. And it is a bingo style game where we're going to choose not bingo, a bidding type game, right? No. See, I totally forgot. It's been over a month, and the rules have gone out of my head. So we have our little secret shields there, and we're gonna line up the we're gonna place the tiles the way we want to draft them. And you see there, so Beck and I both have the same tiles, but we're going to place them in different spots. And depending on the cards that we have, our little player cards, we're going to place buildings on different ones. And then what we do is we do I split, you choose. So we're trying to determine how many we're going to show to our opponent, and then they're going to take either pile A or pile B. And look here, I went crazy. I went for, hey, Becca, I'm going to give you a shot at these 4 tiles. Or you can take this one with a gem on it. And the gems give you extra points at the end of the game. So you're trying to get those tiles the way that you want them. You're going to place them in your tableau like other tile layers where you want the similar pieces or similar terrain next to each other. But those buildings, depending on where they are, they're going to give you points, and they'll multiply as well. So if I had, say, 2 buildings on the white spaces or next to the white spaces, then all the white spaces are going to score double. Or if you get 3 buildings, triple. Oh, it is a really clever game. And Becca and I were really impressed because we play this game. I think it's 3 rounds. It's really quick. But for the amount of time you play, it's a nice little thinker. I wouldn't call it a brain burner, but it definitely gives you a nice little exercise, right? And we played this game 3 rounds. She beat me by 1 stinking point. And it was because of this point in the game here that I'm showing on the video. I gave her 1 too many tiles. I really wanted her to take the 4, I think. Or was it the 1? One or the other. And I think she took the 1, which gave her the 1 extra point she needed based on her terrain. And I was hoping that, or maybe she took the 4. Okay, that's what it was. So that gave her the 1 point. We were laughing so hard, like afterwards, like, oh man, if I would have just split it 3-2 rather than 4-1, I might have gotten the win. But it's terrific, friends. And for a quick playing game, I was very, very surprised by this. I'd heard things about this. I was like sort of skeptical, but for such a quick game, it is a lovely, lovely experience. That's why it's my number 9 for the month of October, November. Actually, the months of October, November. Rome in a Day. All right. Now, the next game I've talked about already on the channel, but boy, I love this one. And I got to play it again during Thanksgiving. The number 8 game is Flip 7. And of course, I should have probably put this at number 7, which I might have done previously. But anyways, Flip 7 is blackjack for gamers. You're just trying to hit or stop or stand. If you hit, you'll get another card, and you're trying to get up to 200 points after several rounds. First one there is going to trigger the end, and then the highest score wins. We play this at Good Morning Society. Jake, Bonds, Ray, producer Ray, and myself. Everyone starts with a card, and then you're going to flip them over one at a time. You ask someone, do you want to flip or do you want to stay? Or we say hit because it's like blackjack. If you get a matching card, you are automatically out of the round. If you have a different card, then it goes to the next player, and you keep going around and around until someone decides to stand. They're going to be out. They'll score those points. Or you keep going until you bust. And you bust when you have a second card that's the same. There are different action cards that trigger things such as freeze, where you get to play it on someone, either yourself or someone else, where you immediately stop and score your points. Flip 3 requires someone or yourself to flip 3 cards. There's also a second chance. So you hold that for that specific round. And if you bust by getting a second card the same, you turn in your second chance card and you get to go again. You get a second chance. There's also cards that'll multiply or add to your score. If you get to 7 numbered cards in a row, or 7 cards that are numbered that are different, they're cards that are numbered 0 through 12. If they're all different, round immediately ends. You score that total plus an additional 15. I don't see it very often. It's tough to do because the number 12 has 12 cards, number 11 has 11, and so forth. So you want the big cards because you score you a lot of points, but it's more common that you'll bust because there's more of those cards. So good. Played this during the Thanksgiving holiday. Family loved it. We're all former blackjack players, so we have a good time with that. There's Jake Bonds and I. We loved it. We had a great time. I think Ray won, but Flip 7, folks, it is terrific. If you have not played it already, it's one of those games I think it's going to be a really cool holiday gift, a stocking stuffer, because it's only like, I don't know, $15 US or even less than that. So check it out, folks. That is Flip 7. All right, let's continue on to number 7, Ready, Set, Bet. I'm yelling because that's how you play this game. You yell. It is terrific. It's fantastic. It's an awesome experience. Basically, it's a day at the track, and it's got a roulette style betting area. In real time, someone's gonna roll the dice, and they're gonna move the horses along the track. The different horses have different payouts, and everyone has the same amount of betting chips. And during the race, as you race there, you're gonna have a chance in real time to place a bet on one of the spots. Now, each spot can only have one player, so if someone beats you to the horse that you wanted, you're going to have to either take a lower spot, which gives you lower odds, or try a different horse. So you go until the horses reach the red line, which is the stretch. We call it the stretch. And then once 3 horses cross the stretch, there's no more bets allowed. So there's a certain point where you are going to be, you cannot bet anymore. And then once one horse has reached the finish line, then you stop there and then you see who's first, second, and third. You pay out win, place, and show bets. But what's really cool about this game, so that it's really easy to figure that out, to learn how to play that basic format. Then there's all the cool things, exotic bets, the prop bets. You can do stuff like, hey, I'm going to bet a blue horse. A blue horse will win. It's a little more rare, but you get 5 times your money. You're going to have different exotics, or, we like to, sort of like exacta bets, if you're familiar with horse terminology, where certain horses come in certain order. Or you're going to have your prop bets. Are they called prop bets? The bets down below, are they called exotic finish? That's what I should call it. Those are different cards that one of them shows up per round, where it's going to be different conditions. Like, oh, you want a certain horse to finish behind all these other horses, or they're going to be, there's going to be 3 horses that go beyond a certain point in the race, or they don't make it out of the gate, or whatever. And those will give you great odds as well. Man, oh man, this is... I love this game. It's one of my favorite party games. Now, it can, I'm yelling and stuff at the start of this little mini review, because I feel like every time I play this game, there's always a point where everyone starts, oh, come on, number 4, come on, number 5, or whatever. And it's so much fun. And I know it's not everyone's jam. That's the thing. I know that type of party game might not be everyone's jam, but it's an experience unlike no other. And I love it. There is one player that does the horses. There's a variant where they can also bet along, but they also have an app where you can the app will run a race for you, so you don't even have to fiddle with dice or anything, and it's terrific. Now, having said that, I got a full disclosure. I did a voiceover for this app, so you can find 3 races that I called on the app. So if you go there on the app, you will hear yours truly there. And it was a really cool gig. I'd never done a voiceover gig like that before, so I was really, really thankful for the opportunity. I had a lot of fun with it. So one more thing I want to talk about too on this game. What makes it, this is another John D. Clare game. He never misses, folks. One thing I want to point out for the gamers amongst us, one little brilliant thing about this. So you start off the game, we just talked about the game, the betting. After the first race, everyone's going to get a VIP card. And the VIP card, that is where you're going to get a special ability. You're going to get 2 cards, you're going to choose one, and this is where it breaks the rules of the game. It's very gamery, and I love that about it. So sometimes you'll get like extra money just straight up. By the way, the object of the game, win the most money. Whoever has the most wins the game. Some will give you extra money. Some will give you money based on certain dice rolls, like Snake Eyes 2 or Boxcars double 6s. You'll get money if they roll that. One of them, my favorite, is the one that'll break the rule where there's only 1 player allowed per space. You have 1 VIP card that allows you to place it on any spot, even if another player's there. Other VIP cards or special abilities allow you to get extra tokens to bet with. So much, folks. It is a brilliant, brilliant party game, and I love it. It might have been, it was my number 1 party game of the year 2 years ago when it was come out. But it's still so good. They now have like a deluxeified edition, which I really want to get, with like a bigger board. I think it's like a playmat and then like some nice chunky horses and whatnot. So that's my number 7, Ready, Set, Bet. Okay, number 6. Hey, you know what? Pandasaurus recently has been coming out with these small box games that I've really enjoyed. I think they're all hits. I don't know, whoever's picking up games from Pandasaurus, kudos to you. You have a good eye for games. Number 6 is Castle Combo. So along with Gnar and Far Away, this is another, and they also picked up, what was that one? Gosh. They picked up so many. Those 3 recently have really been huge hits with me. Castle Combo's got a card drafting plus King Domino style scoring here, where you are building a tableau of cards. You're building a 3x3 grid, and depending on how the cards line up, you'll get points at the end of the game how they line up. Or you're going to get set collection, like you have certain flags, banners. If you have certain banners in certain spots, you'll get that. Or if you just have banners anywhere, you get that. Coins allow you to buy cards from either the top row or the bottom row. And now, whatever row the messenger, the little token is at, that's where you have to buy. But you can move the messenger to the other row by spending a key. The key is like the second type of currency. And keys at the end of the game score your point. There's also ways to get additional points for keys if you have a certain card in your tableau. Wow, man. I don't want to call this puzzly. I feel like it's such a fun game. There's a bit of a puzzle to it, but it's a drafting game, so you have to watch your opponents, what they're trying to do, because what they have on their board could also affect you. Like, hey, I'm going to get a certain amount of coins from my opponents if they have these banners in their tableau or whatnot. It's really easy to run out of money in this game. So they do give this one little out, which is really cool. So the backs of the cards, you'll see there, but if we turn them over, all the backs of the cards say 2 keys, and I think it's like $8 or something. I forget the exact number. If you take a card from the tableau that you cannot afford or you don't want to pay for it, you can just flip it over to that backside, put it anywhere in your tableau. Of course, it's just going to take up a spot, but you got money and keys, so it'll re-energize or regenerate your income at that point. Really cool little, I don't know if it's a catch-up mechanism, but just a way to make sure you don't go bust. I think it's fantastic. It's so good. $6, yes, thank you, Belly. Again, we're recording this live on Twitch, folks, and Belly at $6 and 2 keys, and they bought a copy in France called Chateau Combo. Love the alliteration. Yeah, Castle Combo, Chateau Combo. But a terrific game. Another one that plays quickly, yet offers a really satisfying experience. We talked about that. I talked about Happy Home. I played that at WSBG this year in the open gaming area. This is the other one I brought, Castle Combo, another early copy that I got from Panasaurus, and it was another huge hit with folks. Again, quick playing game, but a very satisfying game. That's why it's our number 6 for the month, Castle Combo. All right, top 5. What do we have in the top 5? I'm going to start with a print and play game of all things. Number 5, from Phil Walker Harding, praise be, Koala Rescue Club. This is a print and play that Phil Walker Harding did, and it is about rescuing koalas. It's so cute. It's adorable. All you do is print out the sheet. Now, you've seen me here. I have the score sheet, and I've printed it and laminated it. What's funny, too, is it's in color. I don't even have a color printer. I just send the file to Office Depot, have them print it for less than $1 US for a color copy. I made several copies, and then I have a laminator at home. Actually, Michelle does. I get to use it and laminate it, and you can use a little dry erase markers, so you can play it as many times as you want. You just erase it when you're done. Roll your die. It's a standard 6-sided die. I use the one from Rolling Realms Deluxe because that is a big chunky die. You roll that, and you're going to place, you're going to circle things depending on what you roll. You're going, like, number 1, you have to do 2 circles, and you do it in your current area. And as you can see, when you fill up a row or column, it's going to give you a bonus. So in this case, I fill up the row up there. I can now move over to the next section. If I fill in a column, I'm going to get different symbols. You're doing a little set collection there. You can only play 2 rounds. It's a quick game. But boy, it's one of the coolest roll and writes I've played in recent times. I think it's that sort of mix of, so polyamo-ish, I guess, because you're those, depending on the number, you're going to do different shapes. But then you're also trying to score as many points as you can based on the different items that you're selecting. And there's also the round, end of round or end of game bonuses if you complete, hey, I've gotten all the koalas scored. I've gotten trees, I got koalas, and then I've gotten the different areas. And what's brilliant about this, there are different ways to score depending on what score sheet you use. So good. It is classic Phil Walker Harding, taking a mechanism, in this case roll and write, that's really familiar to us, and making it accessible to new gamers, right? I mean, super cute and super easy, just roll the die and make the little shapes. And yet, an experience for veteran gamers too, that it's very, again, I've used the word satisfying throughout, but it is a satisfying, and it's a fun experience. A lot of us have played a lot of roll and write games. This, I don't think it does anything brand new, but what it does is it's just everything about it, like all Phil Walker Harding games, it's just really well done. Sharp, streamlined, and as you can see here, I played this several times. This video actually, folks, you're looking at an exclusive video. This is unlisted right now. This was for my Patreon supporters. I'm going to be releasing this video to the public real soon, where you can play along with me and see what type of score you get. I think the first game I didn't do that hot, but the second game I did better. But that is Koala Rescue Club. Folks, you can check it out. And you can get it online for like $5. You have to print it yourself. You don't need the color version. I liked it just because that's how I think it's super cute and works well with the color. But you can totally do it in black and white. But number 5 game of the month, Koala Rescue Club. All right, moving along to another new game that I saw at Gen Con, and I just got to play it recently. My buddy Oscar picked up a copy. This is King of Tokyo Duel. Now, my buddy Oscar, he is like the biggest King of Tokyo fan I know. And anytime there's anything King of Tokyo, we're going to play it. He's going to have it. In this case, it is a 2-player version of King of Tokyo. And folks, I'm going to tell you this right now. I like it better than King of Tokyo for 2 players. So 2 players, King of Tokyo, it's the same as multiplayer, right? The standard game. But the dual version, I think, is a little more interesting because it adds in a very fun tug-of-war mechanism. You have 2 different items that you're going to tug-of-war. The stars, and I forget what's the other one. There's another thing there. You can see the token right there. You're going to be on either side of that, and you're going to bring it all the way to your side, or your opponent brings it to their side. And it's a buildings or stars. And if one of those gets there, you automatically win. Now, you're going to do the classic King of Tokyo, roll the dice, and up to 3 times, you save the ones you want. Re-roll the ones you don't. The fists are going to cause damage. There's the damage counter. I think you start with 20. Go down to 0, you lose. And then you have the energy, or there's the hearts. That's going to give you regenerate, so you get your life points back. And of course, the good old lightning bolts. The lightning bolts get you those cards, special ability cards that are going to trigger. As you can see there, the buildings or the stars, if you use those, you're going to move that token. And in those areas there, you're going to have chances to place these other tokens, which change up things a little bit. And I really like this. So there's one of the dragons. Let me see if I can fast forward a little bit to where those, so there's the energy cards, right? And then these, oh, this is a great looking video. Here are the tokens here. So you're going to place these onto the board itself, and it's going to change things. So when if you place it on a certain spot, if you or your opponent land there, you're going to be able to do those abilities. Like, certain characters will be able to, there you go. Hey, you're going to get an extra, life, or extra die in this case. King of Tokyo Duel, this is the only way I feel the best, not the only, but the best way to play 2-player King of Tokyo is using the Duel edition. You're going to recognize the characters, of course. The gameplay is similar, but just that track, those 2 tracks alone, I think are worth it. That's why it's my number 4. Thanks, Oscar, for letting me play your copy of King of Tokyo Duel, my number 4 for October, November. All right, we've got 3 games left, folks, and number 3, I just mentioned it, and of course it's going to be on here, Rolling Realms Redux. Now, Rolling Realms, I call it Rolling Realms Deluxe. I meant to say Rolling Realms Redux. Rolling Realms is the print and play game that Jamie Stegmaier created during the pandemic, and it became such it was a hit as a print and play. Decided to release a actual version of it, and then recently, this last year, wanted to do Redux it with new cards and scoring cards. Each scoring card, I love this. It is based on different games. So originally it was based on different Stonemaier games. Like you have a Scythe card, you have a Wingspan card, and they all score differently. Now they've expanded it to have, like, in this case, like Wonderland's War, and other great games. And each of these has different scoring conditions. You'll recognize it very similar. Roll 2 dice. Those are the big chunky D6s. Take those 2 dice. You're going to use one of those dice on one card and another on another card. It's always got to be that way. Now, oh, you see that magic I just did? I just like totally cleared out the magic of editing, folks. So in this case, now in this round, I've got the Flamecraft card up here. So that's going to score differently. And what you do is just mark it. And then once you hit certain conditions on the card, you're going to get points. You'll also get resources. And those resources are critical in this game. It's got a lot of Gone Clever in this game, where you roll a dice, you're building up all these different ways to combo, and you spend those resources to combo, or spend those resources to mitigate dice rolls, change numbers or whatnot. And as you combo, you go from card to card comboing. It's very, very satisfying. It's definitely one of the thinkier roller rights, which I really appreciate. We're just talking about Koala Rescue Club. I feel like that's one that is great for new gamers, but the Rolling Realms Redux is one for roll right fans. I'm pretty sure Rahdo has this as his number 1 roll and write, and I can see why. It can be super crunchy and super thinky. It's one of my favorites, and the production, like any Stonemaier, it's next level. It's so good. This is my number 3 game of October, November, Rolling Realms Redux. Okay, time to hydrate. All right, 2 left to talk about. Number 2 has, we're talking about Matthew Dunstan, Brett Gilbert, one of my favorite design duos. This one has 2 designers it's like my dream team of designers right here. My number 2 game is Wrath of Fire Mountain. This is designed by Phil Walker Harding, praise be, and Eric Lang. Phil Walker Harding, Sushi Go, Barron Park. We just talked about Koala Rescue Club. Eric Lang, Blood Rage, Ankh, Arcadia Quest. So many hits between these 2, and they combine forces to create this awesome game from Gamewright. So Gamewright, they're known for Sushi Go and Forbidden Island, all those games in a tin. Abandoned All Artichokes is one of them. This is another game in a tin, which is terrific. I posted this video a little while ago, And Eric, I know him personally. He's a great guy. Actually reposted it on Blue Sky, and he said, "You know what? This game hasn't really gotten much attention, so check out Ruel's video." I was like, I wonder why it hasn't gotten attention. This is an awesome game with awesome dino meeples. What else do you want, folks? Dinosaur meeples in this game. This is an area control game, but done in a way with some special ability cards, the dinosaurs, of course. And what you do is just you're rolling dice and, again, trying to set things up Yahtzee style, trying to get the items that you want. You're bringing in your cave, your tribe, onto the board, either into a cave or into a hut. And then you're moving them using different dice rolls to move them. And then at the end of each round, once the volcano's filled up with folks, with cave people or dinosaurs, you're going to score. So the more people you have on a connected area, like the jungle, you'll score points if you have the most there. You just saw the pterodon card. You get those dinosaurs by using the egg dice. You put the egg dice using the cave people onto that board there with the different dinosaurs when you have enough. So, for instance, you need, however many to get a T-Rex. I think it's 4. You take one of your little colored rings. You take the T-Rex dino. It's now part of your tribe. And, of course, the dinos, they can do different things as well, depending on what type of dinosaur they are. Normally, you cannot go in the water, but there's a dinosaur that if you play with that certain dinosaur, they can score in the water. Gosh, this is so good. And you saw me shifting the terrain. That's a really cool part of this game. After each turn, if you've done a certain condition, you can move those tiles either straight up or down or left or right, and they will flip over. So there's a way to manipulate the terrain there, which is really fun. There's a Triceratops, the Brontosaurus as well. So Brontosaurus, when you're scoring points, the Brontosaurus score counts as more figures than one. So it's usually a 1-to-1, right? One cave versus one, but other dinosaurs may be worth more if they are part of your tribe. Just talking about this, I love going back and reviewing games like this each month, because looking at this, I forgot how much I really enjoyed this. Now, I just did like a run through Rahdo style where it's like me and, Michelle, right? But this game shines at 2, 3, and 4 players. I think I played it the last time I played with my buddy Oscar. Actually, he lent me. You know what? I just thought about it. Oscar. We played King of Tokyo Duel, and I think we played Wrath of Fire Mountain on the same time, at the same game session, and we had a great time with both, folks. It is so good. Highly recommend. Totally underrated game. I think this one's, for whatever reason, I think maybe because it's under the Game Right. With Game Right, people think, oh, it's a kids game. No, it can be a kids game, but don't get it twisted, folks. This is a terrific strategy game. Lighter, but really fun throughout the whole game. And it's got that fun factor of those dinosaur meeples and whatnot. Area control done through the lens of Phil Walker Harding. That's what I want to say, because Eric Lang, he's done Blood Rage, one of my all-time favorites. But you take Eric Lang, you put Phil Walker Harding on it, spin it, and it's like, hey, this is really accessible and fun, approachable. It is a hit in my book, folks. Wrath of Fire Mountain. Check it out. It's my number 2 game in October and November. Now, one of them shall rule them all for this time period, this month. I did a paid preview of my number 1 game, and I've played this several times, been paid to play it several times, and I absolutely love it. So it's a fantastic game. I can't even, I just say it. Madcala. Madcala is my game of the month, game of October, November. This was sponsored by Druid City Games. I actually got to play this with James Hudson from Druid City Games, and also Bonzaner and Becca Scott over on Good Time Society. We did a 4-player tournament. It's a 2-player battling game, and I remember seeing the demo in this Dice Tower West, the prototype, and I was immediately just blown away by how Manny Tremblay, artist designer, created a battling game using the Madcala mechanism. It is so cool, and I love the Wonderland's War world. It's basically Alice in Wonderland, but redone. And they've taken this game and this world and made a 2-player battling game using a Madcala. It is absolutely brilliant brilliant game. You look at one of the plates on your side of the board or your table, and you're going to move those gems, dropping them one by one until there's no more. The gem that you place on the last plate, you trigger that action. Excuse me. You're going to have different characters. You play as one per game, obviously, but you have each character is different. In this one, let me see. I was playing as the Queen, and Daryl was playing, I forgot what he was playing. But we each had different abilities. He's the Mad Hatter. And it's so good, folks. There's a ton of replayability within the game. And the game itself is you just move the pieces on Madcala, starting with one of yours on your plate, on your side of the board. Go, and you can end up on your opponent's side, which is fine. And then you do that action. And then you can also do a card action. Again, the asymmetry of this game is so brilliant. The game itself is just do the Madcala mechanism, do an action, and then those cards really change things up. There's different ways to, manipulate the gems on the board, or even your opponent's things, and you're just trying to knock them out. I think we start with 15 or 20 health points each, and you're just battling until someone's at 0. But it's thinky, but I said this earlier, I really like games that are thinky but not too brain burny, especially for a 2-player game like this. I think it's fantastic. It is so good. I cannot tell you enough. I cannot stress enough how impressed I was with this game. Not only for what was I going to say? Not only for when I saw it in prototype form, but also for just when seeing how it's developed along the way, and seeing how I don't know, deep it is. Yet, I mean, it's a deep strategic game, but done in a way that it's super. I feel like it's more accessible than some heavier games out there. So I really loved it, folks. I think it's just a brilliant game, and that's why it's my number 1 game for October and November 2024, folks. Yes, we are. I think that's it. That is gonna be it for this month. I should say that I usually do this every month, but I did miss a month here. So this has been Ruel's wrap up for October and November 2024. Thank you for watching, folks. Don't forget to click the like and subscribe button, and be sure to check the links below for the companion show I do for this called What You Played, and those are games that you played. I take a look at them, highlight them, and have a lot of fun with that. So thanks again for hanging out, and we'll see you next time. Bye, everybody.